Are we invasive? Why do we need water? How long can you survive without water? What keeps the water cycle going? What impact do humans have on aquatic life zones? What problems do invasive species cause?
Water is the basis of all living processes. It is essential for living organisms to survive and grow, making it one of the most essential substances on the planet. It is utilized by complex organisms to dissolve vitamins and minerals and to transport these substances, along with hormones, antibodies, oxygen, and other substances throughout the body and out of the body in the form of sweat. It also supports the enzymatic and chemical reactions needed for metabolic activities and to regulate our body temperature. More than half of the human body is made up of water, while human cells are more than 70% of water. Thus, most land animals need a supply of fresh water to survive.
The water cycle is essential for the maintenance of most life and ecosystems on the planet. The water cycle drives other cycles. Water cycling is extremely important to ecosystem dynamics as it has a major influence on climate and thus on the environments of ecosystems. The water cycle is driven by the sun's energy as it warms the ocean and other surface waters. Water from the land and oceans enters the atmosphere by evaporation or sublimation, where it condenses into clouds and falls as rain or snow. Precipitated water may enter freshwater bodies or infiltrate the soil. The cycle is complete when surface or groundwater re-enters the ocean. This is easily observed in surface runoff. Runoff can then make its way through streams and lakes to the oceans or flow directly to the oceans themselves. Water cycle is essential for nitrogen and phosphate leaching into rivers, lakes, and oceans. Furthermore, the ocean serves as a large carbon reservoir. Mineral nutrients are thus cycled across the entire biosphere from one living organism to the next, in between the biotic and abiotic worlds, either quickly or slowly.
So the next thing that we will talk about is about the anthropogenic effects. Human activities have a significant impact on the global water cycle, which varies in magnitude and kind depending on types and severity of human effects, physiography, and size of the impacted area. The construction of dams and irrigation schemes diverts large amount of water from river systems. Rainfall and evaporation patterns are shifting all around the world as a result of global warming caused by greenhouse gas emissions. Now, the table that we are seeing across your screen is basically all about the terrible effects of human activities and such on the quantity and quality of water resources. And these are irrigation systems, construction of reservoirs, removal of natural vegetation, atmospheric deposition, and global warming. So what are supposed to be the factors behind all of these terrible anthropogenic effects? There were two factors to be specific, and these are: first, it creates negative environmental qualitative characteristics, which includes the increasing contamination of the air, surface and subsurface waterways, soils and subsoils, and destruction of natural landscapes. And the last factor would be having an impact on water cycles' quantitative properties, like influence the pattern and quantity of precipitation, evaporation, and river runoff.
Moving on, the next topic we will talk about is invasive species. An invasive species is a non-native organism that causes ecological or economic damage in a new environment. There are 4 species introduced for culture in the country that have become invasive are the mudfish, which is regarded as a problem for preying on the young of cultivated fish such as the Nile tilapia when it intrudes freshwater ponds from the wild. Next, in Laguna de Bay and other bodies of water in Luzon, the Asiatic catfish has been observed to have ecologically displaced the native catfish. and the other two invasive fishes are the rice paddy eel and Mozambique tilapia. Next, there are 26 species introduced for ornamental purposes. 16 are considered non-invasive while 6 have become invasive upon escaping from commercial and private keepers into open waters. The 6 invasive fishes that exist in the Philippines for ornamental purposes are the janitor fish, the jaguar guapote, the clown featherback, the giant snakehead, and the black-chinned tilapia.
Moving forward to the last portion, which talks about epigenetics, most probably all about epigenetics in aquaculture. Epigenetics has attracted considerable attention concerning its potential value in many agricultural production areas, particularly under conditions where the environment can be manipulated or natural variation exists. And also, epigenetics has the potential to change the way we think about a phenotype is generated and maintained. We can functionally annotate genomes, better predict phenotypic outcomes of early environmental exposures, and possibly select based on epigenetic markers to a greater understanding of DNA methylation, histone modifications, and ncRNAs. With careful experimental design and special considerations for epigenetic differences between taxa, the aquaculture community is primed to begin to integrate epigenetics into husbandry practices. The concepts and ideas of epigenetics provide an attractive lens for manipulating traits through environmental memory or selecting beneficial qualities based on epigenetic markers. It is also essential to epigenetics may disrupt predictable, robust phenotypes by creating new, unexpected variations.